Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Leadership Thread with Dr. Peggy Polonis.
I'm Dr. Peggy Polonis. Join me on each episode where I unravel the story that shaped leaders, tracing the thread that led them where they are today. Because leadership isn't born in adulthood. And thank you once again for joining us on the Leadership Thread, education, ethics, and sustainability.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Excuse me! Taxi!
Come on, what are you doing? This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, joining us now is Professor Alan Dershowitz of Harvard Law School. Professor Dershowitz, it's great to have you here.
Well, I don't remember her, but she went to Harvard Law School. Even if she didn't, I'm for anybody who's against Letitia James. So I would like to see her win.
Well, and she's smiling right now, too, with a Harvard smile. I see that Harvard smile going on there.
I don't know if there are any Harvard smiles anymore. Harvard, unfortunately, is not the place she went to and not the place that I taught at. It has become, instead of veritas being the symbol, truth, it's become mediocritas. It has become such a mediocre place with all of its emphasis on DEI and all of its emphasis on race this and gender this and everything this except learning. It's an embarrassment. Harvard University and even Harvard Law School is not what it used to be.
Professor, what year did it start to turn?
I would say when Obama became president. About that.
I remember that. I actually remember that happening when he became president because they got rid of grades.
You know, when you get rid of grades, you discriminate against poor people. How did I get to where I got to? If I didn't have grades, a kid named Dershowitz from Brooklyn, who's gonna hire somebody like that? I had to finish first in my class at Yale Law School, and even then I couldn't get a job in 32 out of 32 firms that I applied to. But when you abolish grades, what's left? How a person looks, who his parents are, what their race is, what their gender is. You know, I don't love the way grades are handed out sometimes, especially now with grade inflation. But, you know, how you do, meritocracy matters. And meritocracy matters when you're running for office, as you are. Meritocracy matters when you're hiring a lawyer. Would you ever want to hire a surgeon who was picked for anything other than merit, or a pilot for anything other than merit? Did you see today that a pilot was landing at LaGuardia and calls into the
wrong tower?
He called into Kennedy Airport.
Wrong airport.
That's a problem, Professor. That's a problem.
Yeah. I don't want a pilot like that.
You know, Professor, let's get to the other big news today. Of course, Pam Bondi.
She's a friend of mine.
And I know Pam. I love Pam. Pam's a friend of mine too. Walk us through what you think happened here and what this means to Americans.
Look, we live in the age of what's called Epstein McCarthyism. You know how many people have lost their jobs over Epstein? It's absolutely unbelievable. She's one of them. She got a bum rap on Epstein. She didn't do anything wrong. Of course there's a list. I've seen it. I know there is a list. It's not a list prepared by Jeffrey Epstein. It's a list prepared by the FBI. I know who's on the list. And Pam Bondi knew who was on the list. Many of the people who are on the list were falsely accused, but there is a list. And the list has been produced, basically. She got a bum rap. And look, I don't envy anybody being the Attorney General of the United States. You know, it's much better and easier to be the Attorney General of New York. Why? You're not committed to anybody. You're not in the governor's cap. The governor can't call you and say prosecute so-and-so. But a president does that, whether it's President Jefferson, who told his attorney general to prosecute Aaron Burr, or whether it's Lincoln, or whether it was Roosevelt, whether it was John Kennedy, who said to his attorney general, his brother, prosecute Roy Cohn, or whether it's this president. It's a schizophrenic job. You can't be half the time a member of the cabinet who was supposed to help the president get reelected and help his policies, and the other time supposed to be an objective, neutral law enforcement official. So the job's impossible. We're the only country in the world that has that job. Every other country divides the role. There is the Minister of Justice, who is the cabinet official and whose job is political to help the prime minister or the president. And then there's the director of public prosecution, who's not political, who decides who to prosecute. But in this country, The same person does both, and it's an impossible job. I don't envy whoever replaces Pam Bondi, because he or she is going to last just another year, and then they're going to get fired again.
Yeah, you look at the revolving door. I mean, Jeff Sessions, Bill Barr, but one of the names that's coming out there, and maybe some of the guys in the room heard this. Well, first of all, Todd Blanche, the deputy AG, is going to be the interim AG, right? Right, very good. Exactly. And he's the one who was in all the cases and in New York cases for Trump. Trump trusts him. The other name that's being floated out there is Lee Zeldin. He's terrific too. He's very good. He's an excellent lawyer. He's an excellent member of Congress. He'd be a hell of a lot better governor than the one we have now in New York. And I know his name is out there. I think another name that's been around is Gene Pirro, who's the U.S. attorney in the District of Columbia, former judge in New Jersey, and there'll be other names floated as well. But they're all very, very competent lawyers.
And a few people have mentioned Jake Clayton.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many good people out there, but it's an impossible job. You get a call in the morning at 9 o'clock in the morning from the White House saying, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. And then the Justice Department says, but our tradition is not to do that. You don't take those kinds of calls. You just prosecute based on the merits. It's a very, very difficult job, and I don't envy anybody who takes it.
So I have a question from a procedural question, because in the middle of all this, Professor Dershowitz, right away, like literally, I think it was maybe 30 seconds. I was watching all the news coverage today, and like 30 seconds afterwards, the Democrats came out, and Hakeem Jeffries said, good riddance. We're still going to go after her. Robert Garcia, who's the highest ranking Democrat on the House Oversight.
He's Joseph McCarthy. He is Joseph McCarthy Garcia. He has been using the Epstein case in the most McCarthyite possible way. And of course, he's going to go after her.
So she will still, they had a date set for her in April to testify. Is she now still obligated? Does it change anything with her status? I think she'll still be Attorney General because there's a transition period.
It doesn't matter. She is obligated, and she will testify, and she will testify truthfully. And Garcia will ask her unfair questions and try to embarrass her. This is not about getting at the truth. This is about just gotcha and embarrassment. And look, there are no secrets anymore in the Epstein case. Everybody knows what happened. I have actually volunteered to testify because I know more than everyone else. I was his lawyer. I asked him every question. I asked him who he has things on. I know everything, and I have volunteered to testify, and I've claimed I won't assert any privileges. The last thing anybody in Congress wants is to hear from me. Why? Because I'll tell them the truth, and they don't want to hear it. They can't take the truth.
Ed Cox, you can't handle the truth. Wasn't that a scene out of the movie, right?
You are right on. You're right on.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, that was Jack Nicholson, right? Wasn't it?
That's right.
And Tom Cruise.
Good men, yeah.
Yes.
That's Professor Dershowitz.
Oh, that's right. Professor, thank you very much. We love having you with us.
Hey, have a meaningful Easter, everybody, and
a happy Passover.
A good Passover. I'm having my whole family over tonight, and we're going to tell some good stories. I have special Passover jokes that I save only for once a year, and I have a tie that's made out of matzah that people laugh at, but once a year I'm allowed to do that.
Will you send us a picture of the matzah tie? I've never seen a matzah tie.
Okay, I'll send you a picture.
Professor Dershowitz, thank you for everything.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Many blessings.
Sacco and Felix, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFilas.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.